Hello and welcome back to another episode of PokéMoN Origins. In this episode we're going to look at Kyogre, Groudon and Rayquaza. Starting off with Kyogre, its Japanese name is Kyogre, so very much similar, and it is a sea basin Pokemon. It is number 382 in the National Dex and stands at 4.5 meters tall or 14 foot 9 inches and weighs 352 kilograms or 776 pounds. It is a water type and part of the Weather Trio. Kyogre has two big pectoral fins or wings, which each end with 4 tips or fingers. It has a deep blue body and a white chin area, and has 2 small spikes protruding from under its chin. It has red markings around its chin, its eyes, its dorsal fin, its torso and on its fins, and its tail seems tattered with 4 trailing parts. Its mouth contains sharp triangular teeth, and its eyes are small, yellowed and shadowed with black. It is based on the Hebrew legends of Leviathan, the unconquerable primal master of the sea. May also draw inspiration from Hayo and Lacandanon, the gods of the sea in Philippine mythology. Kyogre is a genderless Pokemon, so we have no gender differences to look at here, and its shiny form is purple coloured. Pokédex entries tell us that Kyogre once widened the seas by causing downpours, and that it sleeps in peace in a marine trench. The names Kyogre and Kyogre come from a combination of Kai, meaning ocean, and Orca, a species of whale which is closer to a dolphin, and as you all know, it has the killer whale. It may also come from Kaio, meaning the king of the sea, and that is the first part of the name which forms Kaiosei, meaning Neptune. Now moving on to Groudon here, it is the continent Pokemon, and it is number 383 in the National Dex, and stands at 3.5 meters or 11 foot 6 inches, and weighs 950 kilograms or 2,094.4 pounds. Groudon is a ground type and a member of the Weather Trio. Groudon is a massive bipedal dinosaur-like creature, and its grey underside is covered in red segmented plates of thick skin that act like armour. It has spikes that run along its head, its body and its tail, and it has 4 claws on each hand, with 4 dozer-like blades on the end of its tail. It also has 3 claws on each foot, and has blue marking stripes inside the seams of its armour plating. Much like Kyogre, it's based on the Hebrew legends of Behemoth, the unconquerable primal master of the land, and it is said in Hebrew legends that at the end of time, Leviathan and Behemoth would start a battle that would end up killing them both, much like we see in the game PokéMon Emerald. It takes inspiration from dinosaurs, mainly T-Rex and Ankylosaur. Groudon, like Kyogre, is genderless, so there are no gender differences, and its shiny form is yellowish. Pokédex entries tell us that Groudon once expanded the lines by evaporating water off, and that it sleeps in underground magma, much like how Kyogre sleeps in the underground water trench. The name Groudon comes from a combination of ground and don, which is Spanish for lord, and don also equals tooth in ancient Greek. Don is very often used in dinosaur names, as you know, Pterodon, Stegosaur. No, that's not right. Yep, you know what I mean though, you see Don every time. Do also means ground, and Don is onomatopoeia for a very loud crashing noise, so you know we might have crash in English, we have Don in Japanese. Finally moving on to Rayquaza, it is the Sky High Pokemon, it's number 384 in the National Dex, and stands at 7 meters tall or 23 foot, and weighs 206.5 kilograms or 455.2 pounds. It is a dragon flying type, and a member and the master of the Weather Trio. It is a large, mostly green, serpent-like creature with red-tipped, rudder-like wings on its shoulders and down its body. It has similarly patterned fins on the tip of its tail, and yellow ring-like symbols that run across the length of its body, with also a ring on its head. It has 2 limbs of 3-clawed carpals, and 2 long, flat, horn-like structures on its head, with 2 smaller horns below them. It has a prominent gum line with only 2 discernible fangs on its upper snout. It has small yellow eyes with black pupils. Much like Kyogre and Groudon, it's based on the Hebrew legends of Ziz, the unconquerable primal master of the sky, which is a counterparts being Leviathan and Behemoth. It may also be based on the Asian dragon and the lindworm, and the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, a flying serpent. Like its 2 counterparts, it is genderless, and its shiny form is a black colour, which is very cool. Pokédex entries tell us that Rayquaza lives in the ozone layer and that it cannot be seen from ground as it is so far up. This is seen in many of the movies, for example Rayquaza vs Deoxys, I don't know the exact movie, and also in one of the anime episodes where the guys go up in a spaceship, although unintentionally, and Rayquaza hits them with a hyper beam. Rayquaza comes from the Hebrew word rakia, which is the Hebrew word for firmament, and may also come from a combination of Ray and Quasar, and also from Retsu meaning violent, Ku meaning sky, and Zar meaning seat or location. This can be taken to mean the one that sits in the ferocious heavens, much like Rayquaza. Now finally looking at some size comparisons here, you can see they're all very big Pokemon. I'm doing them one at a time here, showing them one at a time because I don't really have the space on the screen. But as you can see, they're very big. Obviously Kyogre, Groudon, and then Rayquaza. I believe the biggest is Rayquaza, just by going by memory. Yep, it's Rayquaza. It may also be, this may be length though instead of actual height, but finally moving on to some sprite comparisons here. You can see in Emerald and Ruby and such, Kyogre is, just flying there. Same in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and then the same in Black and Black 2, all Generation 5 games. Moving on to Groudon, in Generation 3 it's just stood there, whereas in Generation 4 it's kind of got its arms raised up, ready for, it's kind of roaring, it's like, "Rawr, I'm Groudon, fear me," etc. And then Generation 5 it kind of lowers them again, and it's more of a serious pose. Finally onto Rayquaza here. In Emerald its sprite is just kind of curled up really, and then when we get to Generation 4 it's more spread out, what I would call spread out. And then Generation 5 it's more like its Generation 3 sprite, but again very different. I kind of like it. And so into this episode of Pokemon Origins. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.